I'm on Lineback.
I'm down.
That's my fault. I fucking literally just threw that.
So what happened to you?
I got hit by the scream and then it's just doom.
I'm winning.
Oh, you
Decisions
got this,
man.
bro.
No fucking way.
Oh my god.
Fucking easy.
Holy shit, bro.
What up, guys? This is going to be a very, I don't want to even say in-depth. This is going to be more of an advanced guide to people who play Great Axe and Hammer. Again, there's not a lot to know about Great Axe and Hammer. I feel there's very little you can do. But, you know, just in case people don't know exactly how to pull combos off or anything, or maybe ability combinations to allow you to do maximum damage and why, I just decided to make a quick little video on it, give you everything I know, and hope you go for it, shitting on people in wars. For armor type, I like to leave it up to you. Me personally, I like to use the optimized medium. So I use, does it show? There we go. Heavy helm, heavy chest, medium, light, medium. And the whole point of this, again, to stay as tanky as possible while falling in that medium range. So I get the 10% damage reduction, I get the 10% increased damage, and I can dodge and get a lot further. I really recommend this to a lot of melee DPS because the fact that you can dodge, and some people may be like, oh, just skip. I promise you, it gets you a lot further than you think. You will be squishy for a little bit. I recommend getting used to it. I don't really think attributes is something I should show, but you know, I like to run this for my attributes. Obviously, the food make up for it. I'll just eat the food. It doesn't really matter. I eat carrot cake 9 times out of 10, super cheap. And basically, I get 150 and 334. And the reason why I want this instead of like 200, for one, I have 3 dodges, period. At baseline, I have 3 dodges, as you all saw. I have 3 dodges. So if I have a pocket healer in a war, it helps me a lot on my survivability to have 3 dashes, 3 periods of immunity, and then obviously I have charge to get out. So I can hop, charge, and I'm gone, right? And then my healer has time to heal me, or you know, I hop, Path of Destiny, and basically I get a whole bunch of healing done by myself and to myself. So heavy, I don't recommend too much. Again, up to you guys on that one completely. Like at this part, I don't really want to say what you should and should not do. I think this is a up to you type of thing, because I know light people who do really fucking well. I just personally can't play light because I like to be a little tanky, because I'm melee, I eat damage, you know what I mean? And I understand in wars, you know, some people in light may not get targeted as much. Heavies may need to be on point. This is all based on your server and situational. Medium works very well on my server right now for me. In the situations that we find ourselves in, with like everyone AoEing the point, I don't have to really be on the point, and when I do, I'm not super squishy. I can kind of be on the point and hop off. Again, I have like the survivability because of my hops, but not only that, like I genuinely just don't have to touch the point as much because, again, based on my server. First, for I think Great Axe are some of the most important perks in the game, other than obviously like Void Gauntlet, but those are new. So Insatiable Gravity Well, must have. The reason why, the 50% HP gain back isn't that big of a deal. You get 50% of the damage you dealt. I don't want people, just in case they don't read it, get it wrong. But you get 50% of the damage that you dealt back as HP. But it also increases the damage of the ability because it doubles the damage. Not only does it double the damage, it heals you for both of those. So you can get a lot of HP. You can't really get that much HP back, I want to be honest with you guys. Like, but the burst damage is where you're basically looking for. Sundering Shockwave. You have to have Sundering Shockwave in a war, period. And just period, actually. Like, there's no reason you should not have this. This is just a damage boost to your character, period. So let me see. Oh, and at least you Path of Destiny. Path of Destiny obviously did get nerfed in this patch, and I will say why I think it's better in the hammer side of things. But yeah, the Great Axe, Vicious Keen, basically what you want more than anything. For me, and I'd love to see comments in the comments below to see how you guys feel about Refreshing Move. I really like Refreshing Move because I found out per person that you hit, it refreshes it by 2.8% cooldown. So in wars as a melee, most of us already know it. You get into a ball and you start left clicking, right? You obviously start left clicking, and if your abilities don't cooldown, every person that you hit with light or heavy attacks are now reducing your cooldowns by 2.8% per target, and that can be every one click. So every one click can be 5 times 5. Okay, every one click can be 2.8 times 5, which is insane. Like you can get 10%. Obviously, it's higher than 10%, but 10% cooldown reduction from one click, and then you're obviously going to click way more than that. So I think it's a really good thing. You guys let me know. I think it for the Warhammer. Again, we can have conversations about this. Keenly Empowered, I think, is really good. It doesn't do a lot. I got to be real with you. It doesn't really do too much. Enchanted, I think, is a must because there's a combo. I'll just show it. So the combo with this is, nope, that is not the right weapon. Okay, come on, game. All right, God. Oh, okay. I'm just completely trolling here. All right, so you shockwave, and during this time, the person is stunned, so you can heavy attack, and you just do a mess ton of damage. So I think Enchanted is really good. Most of the time, I want to tell people, because I feel like a lot of people think for some reason that we auto attack with Great Hammers. And again, if you use your Great Hammer more than I do, in the sense of like you have a different build that plays way more around it, then obviously this isn't really for you. But I would recommend for war specifically, because this is more of a war build. Basically, I think Fortify, actually, Keenly Fortify is actually pretty good. Keenly Empowered, I think, is good, and Enchanted. I think those three could be really good combos. I know new perks came out, and I haven't looked too into them for the hammer specifically. I got some for the axe, so I do think that the hammer has the least amount of usage because of the fact that we don't really auto attack people with it. Like, it's very rare. You might do 2 auto attacks per person in like the entire war. Like, you're gonna great axe 9 times out of 10. I hope so, at least. I actually realized I didn't have any of the new perks on my weapon. I thought it was really janky to go to the auction house like this. So the ones that I think that stand out here are obviously Plague Strikes, Plague Crits, or yeah, Crits. Basically, they apply disease. I personally would take Plague Strikes if you can get it, because the fact that you can use an heavy attack to apply disease for 8 seconds. It also doesn't say I have a cooldown, so it sounds like you can keep it up permanently. While the other one, Plague Crits, requires you to crit, and they have to be below 50% HP to apply it. So I would personally be willing to have myself basically force anti-heal on people than just having it to when they have to hit 50% HP. You know what I mean? If they're already a high HP threshold and they're reduced healing, I can get them lower faster and continuously apply it. Thwarting Strikes is way better than Thwarting Counter for the fact that it says targets against grit, basically. So you do more damage up to 15% against grit targets, but the issue with that is Thwarting Strikes does just a flat 11%, or it says 12% here. I think it's 11 in game, but it just does baseline more damage without having to have anything met. So obviously, Thwarting Counters requires basically a 300 strength user, or maybe when they're casting a specific ability for other players. Change of Strike, I don't really think it's worth it. I don't like the heavy attack, so I'm not a heavy attack person. If you guys heavy attack, obviously you should look more into these. The Trenchant Rend seems very interesting. Every heavy attack applies a 7% Rend. My biggest issue is the fact that it has a 12-second cooldown, so you get 7 seconds of Rend, but it's a 12-second cooldown, and you already got a Sundering Shockwave for that. You have certain abilities that are already going to apply Rend or double Rend, and you don't really need extra range. You kind of just need flat damage on your Great Axe to be able to burst people down, and then your other abilities will be able to do the job of rending. This is going to be the standard single target / OPR build. Basically, you can swap out 2 of these for the bottom 2 on the right of Mauler. Those 2 are very good in the situation of OPR, but otherwise this is going to be your baseline out in the open world 1v1 killing everything single target build, because you will survive, you will do max damage, and you will heal a lot. Basically, not much changes on the Mauler side of things also, so let's get to that one. And this will be your Mauler spec. Your Mauler spec is basically max AoE damage. The whole point of this is basically for wars. I want to be 100% with you guys. This is really mainly a war build. Again, everything on the left, it basically just increases your damage output. Baseline is really OP. You should always take charge, in my opinion. Maelstrom is one of the most underrated abilities, maybe not anymore. I'm not too sure how far it came. And Gravwell, obviously you have to have Gravwell. It's a war. Insatiable Gravity Well does way too much damage. It's just the best I think you can possibly get. Mauler slept on. I hope anyone who is watching this, you use Mauler. Look how OP it is. It will increase your damage significantly. Just play around it and you will do so much more damage. All right, for the Bloodlust side, here we go. Basically, there's not too much with this side, to be honest with you. Again, Insatiable Gravity Well, I don't know if it's going to proc. Sometimes it procs, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know how I didn't hit that target lag. But here we go. You can't really do any weird combos with Reap. What I like to do maximum might be like 2 hits into a Reap or like 1 hit into a Reap. That's basically the most animation canceling you can do with that ability. Obviously, I say obviously, but hopefully a lot of people do know this. With charge, you can like left click into a fucking charge and basically blow people up. On the Mauler side, charge can be actually very disgusting, and I will show you that in a second. So when it comes to Great Axe, there's not really too much you can really do on the left side. It's just kind of hit people. You chase people, you hit people, you're good. You know what I mean? So the Mauler side of things. Mauler is very, very good. Mauler, you have a lot more things to play with, and this is basically what you want to look for. So Mauler has a stacking buff. You can max out a 30% increased damage. And obviously Bloodlust has a 15% baseline. So just having Bloodlust increases by 15. But in a war, again, which this is built for, as a melee, we're normally in very big clumps of people, or we're chasing people, you know, whatever your job is. But normally you can hit multiple targets. So obviously I can't really stack it well, but you know, your damage slowly goes up. But if you hit multiple targets with one cleave, it gives you both stacks. I tested this. I'm sorry I can't show you guys right now, but it will give you double stacks for each person. It will give you a stack per person you hit with each one click, which is another huge thing. So I can technically click one time and get 5 stacks. So obviously, you know, that's best case scenario. But again, this is why I say it's really good. The fact that you're in a war, there's 50 people you're fighting, so you're basically always going to hit somebody, so you're always stacking it up. And obviously, if, I just want you guys to know ahead of time, actually, if you switch your weapon, it does go away. So you don't want to try to switch too much. You want to switch again as much as you need it, obviously, but you want to stack this up. The moment you can stack this up, you want to hit your Maelstrom, and your Maelstrom will do a shit ton more damage. I do not recommend ever using Maelstrom by itself. You should not do that. That is not a good thing unless you can for sure kill somebody, or if you're trying to like suck people in. So like sometimes I think a very high strategy, and maybe a lot of people do this, I'll get in the center and Maelstrom. These dummies obviously can't move, but Maelstrom sucks people in. So it'll pull them into me to allow other people to be able to mass AoE them. And I love doing that. I think that's a really good tip that anyone can do. It doesn't help you pad your stats, but it helps other teammates kill players. So if you want to win wars, that's one of the best things you can do. Now, with the actual combo of Maelstrom and Gravity Well, and the whole kind of point of this Mauler build is you get on someone, let's just stack it up real quick. So say you're in a ball, right? You're trying to get the flag, everybody's just kind of here doing their thing, you know. You get to your like 8 to 10 stacks, so you're probably not always going to be at 10, right? So you want to try to dodge Gravwell into an auto, into a Maelstrom. And the whole point of this, you see that the Gravwell proc twice. So basically all you did was stack up as much damage as you possibly could on your Mauler, and then double burst every single person in there. Every single player inside that Gravwell and inside that Maelstrom just took 4 ticks of damage in what, like 1 second. And it's very hard for people to survive that. And don't let a Ren be there. Don't let an armor breaker be there. Like, people are going to literally explode. I've blown up many of players and many of healers this way because people do not respect the damage or know about it, to be real with you. Just in case I didn't go over charge. Charge is one of your best abilities. Again, same thing with Mauler. You want to try to stack it up, and you will stack it up. And 9 times out of 10, I highly recommend using charge as an escape tool and or a way to execute people. So now that I'm at 10 stacks, I can dodge and left click 4.1k. Like that, I just did 6k in 2 hits right there because I decided to chase that target or hit that target multiple times, and then basically try to execute him when he had like, I like to try to do it around 40% HP, around 30 to 40. It's very hard to gauge it sometimes. If you can try to burst people in that HP threshold, it's a world of difference. Let me be honest. And don't let you be hitting them in the back. Like, even there, I just did 6k again. I just did 6k damage, and it wasn't even fully stacked that time. Like, the damage increase is ridiculous. So for the hammer has multiple combos. I'll show you every single one that I know of as of right now. So my favorite one is kind of these for wars. I want to be real with you. This is pure war setup. I would not run this in too many 1v1s. I start taking Wrecking Ball for 1v1s, but we'll get there. So Shockwave baseline. Again, we saw the perks. The perk increases it. And this is another thing people do and do not take. Armor Breaker. Armor Breaker is not easy to land. If you are not directly on the target, sometimes it may not land because it's a very straightforward attack. But if you can land it, let me see if I can reduce the cooldown real quick. Yeah, so if you can land it in a war, for one, you don't want to armor break first. You always want to shockwave, get everyone stunned into an armor break. Anybody that you hit with shockwave is receiving the debuff of, the 10% increased damage taken. But not only that, anyone who got hit by armor breaker, because armor breaker, even though it looked like a single target, can actually hit multiple targets. So if you can hit multiple targets in a gravity well, you just double rendered them. I don't know if too many people know that you can double rend. So let's do a left click to 1815, right? So now I want to hit boom, and you want to go boom. So now he's double rendered, and now auto. I just increased my damage by double, basically. Like, it's insane how much damage you can get off because of a double rend. And again, I personally like to play for my team in a sense. So when I do that combo, I try to do it mainly inside of a gravity well, or if maybe I'm chasing a healer, because you can blow up healers really quickly. And when you do this combo, you 9 times out of 10 want to go straight into your great axe and try to execute. I just did, like, that was without having Mauler stack. I just did full stacked Mauler damage because of double rend. Like, it just increases your execute damage so much, and people don't know this yet, and that's fine. I'm here to teach some people, and hopefully this does not get used against me. Ever since the patch, they took out a combo I used to do. I don't know if anybody else used the combo, so I don't want to say that I made it, but basically I used to Shockwave, Path of Destiny, into Armor Breaker, but they nerfed Path of Destiny Stagger, which was very unnecessary, to where basically you don't have that time to be able to do that combo anymore. So I'm gonna show you the actual combo now that you're supposed to do. I think Path of Destiny is still better for you in wars. I would 100% recommend taking this because you can get the 35% healing off of this and the 38% off of your Legion Path of Destiny, which when you hit people, let me check it out for you guys. So, in a war, 9 times out of 10, you can hit like 5 to 10 people. I don't want to say 10. I can't even see how much I get healed, but you hit a lot of people. And it can literally heal you from 2k to max HP, and I love it. I fucking love it. What I like to do is I'll double back jump, especially when I'm in a group of melee, and then drop it, because every single melee in front of me now gets hit, and I just basically full heal. Or even if I hit like half HP off of it, it's completely worth it, because my healer, if he's healing somebody else, I just heal myself. It solves an issue. I create survivability for myself. So this is gonna be the second combo. This is the new, more practical one. I did not find this, someone else did, and I just ended up trying it out. My issue with this. So when you fight ranged, it is already difficult after the nerfs for a melee to connect with a range. This makes it even harder, because I don't know about you guys, but obviously you don't want to run Mauler against a range. Again, this is a 1v1 situation. You use Bloodlust to catch up to range, but when they create distance, you should hopefully use Path of Destiny to stagger them, but not only stagger them, slow them. So now you're getting increased movement speed towards them, and they can barely run away from you, and it helps gap close a lot. So this is the new build that could potentially work in wars. I'm very questioning this. I have to try it out myself, but basically you do the same thing. You knock them down, and then you armor break. That is your most ideal situation you can get. Shockwave, knockdown, armor break. You will do max damage, max DPS, max DPS. What is that? Oh my god. One of those little things blew up. But that is the best way to go about this combo. I think this is probably one of the newer meta combos that should come out of this if people actually play around. I will give my thoughts on these two abilities right now because I do not think they're good. So, Clear Out. I think a lot of people like Clear Out. My issue with it, the 4%, the 4-meter knockback, and obviously the perk that increases it, very big issue with me. In a war specifically, it is not good. Even in duels, it's not really good because it has such a long wind-up time. But I guess if you land like Shockwave and all that, you can do it. But this ability, how my wars go on my server, people group up and we blow them up. So you pushing everybody out of everyone trying to blow them up is not good. We should not be running this in any wars. I don't know. I don't want to say, for your servers, maybe you guys don't do what we do, but I don't recommend this if your server requires you to blow up a mass of people. It is not good. You saving yourself isn't worth killing 5 players ever, in my opinion. Same with this one. Mighty Gavel just, it does good damage. It says 120, 170, and then 220 if you get the max. The worst thing about it, I don't want to show it too much. I'll show it. It's not that big of a deal. We're just gonna run it so you guys can see my issue with it. Gotta take some extra stuff. Boom. Okay. So this is a very bad ability. The only type of combo this has with your great axe is grab well into this, and you will never get the second hit off. Let me tell you why. That character or that dummy is not moving. If you run up to a grab well or you drop a grab well and then pull this out, 9 times out of 10, people use some type of mitigation. They use something to get out of it. Either ice block, fledge, evade, riposte, whatever it may be. So you don't really get that combo off. But what you can do at the same time, though, is actually no, you can't do. Like my biggest issue with this is the wind up time on the second hit. I'm literally gonna spam my left click because that's how you activate the second ability to do the 220% damage, and watch how long it takes. I want you to understand, like the combo is shockwave into this, but when you shockwave into this, the fucked up part about it is the second hit will never connect because they have way too much time to roll, and you'll see right now. That hit, so within the first hit, they're unstunned. People spam dodge. I'm not gonna hit my spacebar a whole bunch. They spam their dodge and they get out. It has happened way too many times. I've tried it for so long. I've tried to make it work. I even tried using it with like shockwave and the ground pound and then this, and then trying to get the second. It doesn't work. The moment this first one lands, they get up and then they roll away, and I can never get this one off. These also don't really do anything, so I don't really think it's a good thing to have. So I really would not recommend using a Mighty Gavel or Clear Out, but Clear Out is way more situational and available for people who may not do what we do on our server. I don't want to get too into it. I'm on El Dorado if you would like to come, but Clear Out is not that good for us, so I don't recommend it at all. If you stayed this far in the video, I'd appreciate if you drop a like and a subscription. It helped me out a lot. I'm pretty new to YouTube, pretty new to all these things. You probably can notice that my mic goes up and down, but trying to do what I can. I hope this helps out a lot of Melee players in the game. I understand Melee is very easy, but I figure I can give some advanced tips that I have put a lot of time into for wards and everything. So, and obviously there's probably more tips out there, and I hope that I can learn more, and we all can learn more.